Hello everybody. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am That Doll Collector. My name is Lisa. Thank you so much for choosing to watch my video today. Today, I'm going to have a very special kind of a video. Today, we're going to reveal what I named my new little baby here. I did a blanket reveal on Saturday, I believe, Saturday or Sunday, and I've decided on a name. Also, I'd like to introduce you to the rest of my crew back here. This big girl over here, her name is Jennifer. And then you all know Georgie. And this little girl right here, this was the first doll in my collection that I can remember. She doesn't have a name, so she's just Little Miss No Name. And the little girl that's holding her, her name is Charlotte. We'll get back to all that in a little bit. So we're going to do the name reveal, and I'm also going to dress this little one. And then while I do that, I have a tag that I'd like to do, join in, that Leisha over at Binky's and Blanky's Nursery created. And it's the Dolly Question and Answer 2025. It's a list of 10 questions about your channel and about you. I was really excited to see that Leisha had put together this tag, because there's so many of us that when we come into watching people's channels, it's all at different times, and you don't always get to know the person from the beginning or how they got to be on YouTube. So it's a really great way, I think, for all of the doll community people to get to know each other. So I just wanted to do that today, and so let's get to it. First of all, I'd like to thank all of my subscribers, and if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for choosing to watch me today. And if there's something that you like and would like to see more, continue to come back, please consider subscribing yourself and hitting that thumbs up button. It really helps get my videos out into the Dolly community. So with that said, I'm going to move the camera down and we'll get going on this little one and what I've decided to name her. And we'll dress her and then we'll do the questions. Okay, let's get going. Gonna move you guys down. Hopefully you can see her okay. Okay, so this little one, if you watched my blanket reveal the other day, I got this little girl from Amazon. She's a manufactured sculpt. Her face is a Quinby, but her limbs are, I don't know, a mixture of different dolls, I think. But anyway, I did not have a name for this little one. And what I've decided to name her is, because of her hair is very black and it's shiny. And when I looked at her, I see girl, but I think of Elvis for some reason, because of her dark, shiny black hair. So I've decided to name this little one Elvira. Yes, but I'm going to call her Evie. So everybody meet little Elvira, my little Evie. Okay, so this is what we're gonna get her dressed into. I'm gonna leave her onesie on. I'm just gonna put her in this little denim dress. It's got this little rocking horse and a little heart pocket. And then I'm also gonna put her a little bonnet on her head. Just a real thin, nice little bonnet. I like my baby girls in bonnets. I think they're so cute. So, okay, let's just get started on the Dolly question and answers. The first question is, what is your name and the name of your channel? So I think I already went over that at the beginning. My name is Lisa, and my channel is That Doll Collector. And someone had asked me how I come up with the name of my channel. And originally I kind of wanted to be The Doll Collector, but when you go to put in the names of your channels in YouTube, it won't let you do some things. And when I put that in, it didn't let me do it. So I had to go to that doll collector. I wanted something that was other than my name. Okay, so question number 2. How long have you had your channel? Okay, so I actually started my channel in March of 2020, March 21st, 2024, and that's what it will say when you look at the description and the details on my channel. But I was not making videos. I just had my channel so that I could communicate back and forth, because I had tried to put like comments in on some of the channels, and unless things have changed, at that time it was not letting you comment. So I started a channel for that. And also I just made videos privately to talk to some of my relatives and stuff, and show them some of the things going on in my life. So I didn't start making videos until just real recent. May of this year was my first video, and you can go back and see that. It was for Mother's Day. It was about my mother's doll, Kathy. That was my very first video. Question number 3. How long have you been collecting dolls? I have been collecting dolls all my life. For as long as I can remember, I've always had dolls. And actually, my grandmother loved dolls. She was more into dolls than what my mother was. My mom had dolls, but my grandmother kept collecting dolls and had dolls. She was an elderly woman, and she had dolls in her house. I can remember going there and seeing her dolls lined up next to her television, and I just thought that was so neat. She liked dolls, and she also liked stuffies, and she was a really great crocheter, and she would crochet a lot of stuffed animals also, and she had them all over her house. And so when she passed, I inherited all her dolls and her stuffed animals. So let's see. So as long as I can remember. Okay. What's the next question here? Okay, so what was your first doll, and do you still have it? Okay, so now I'm going to bring you back up to answer that question. See little Evie? Isn't she so cute? And her little dress and her little bonnet? Yes. Okay, I'll bring you back up so I can explain the rest of what I need to tell you. Get you straightened out here. Okay, so my very first doll, and I had done a short, and I also did, sit right there, Charlotte. And I also did a short video on it. This was my very first doll. And I don't know what kind of doll she was, but I got her for my first birthday. And I remember my mom telling me about her. And so that's how I know. And I also have pictures. My first birthday, I hope you can see this okay. It's a picture of me with and that's the doll sitting beside me. That's the same doll that I have right here. So, okay. What style of collector are you? Okay, so I'm assuming that by this she means like what kind of collector. Like, do you interact with them or just let them sit around, or I am an interactive collector. I like to dress my babies. I like to shop for my babies. Let me move you over a little bit here. There we go. I like to shop for my babies. I like to hold them and cuddle them. I like to first, especially when I first get a new baby, I like to reweigh them if they've already been if they come as a full doll. I like to reweigh them, and then when I get them all how I like them, I'll set them in a swing, a baby swing, and that's in my living room right here with me. And every day I have a doll swinging in my swing in the living room. I think it's very there's something about just seeing the doll in the swing, and I think that's the realism, and just watching them go back and forth. It's very relaxing to me. Also, when I just hold a baby, a lot of people see these dolls, and you don't know until you pick one up and you hold it in your arms how comforting and how real they feel. Do you remember, have you ever heard of anybody say when they're holding a sleeping baby, oh, if they could only stay like this, if they could just stay this size and stay sleeping, and I never have to change their diaper, or I never have to. That's what the dolls do. That's exactly a doll. You need a doll because that's what these are. They feel like a real baby, and yet they're not. And you can leave when you want. You can put them somewhere. They're going to stay. They're not going to get messy. They're awesome. I love my babies. Okay. Oh, also, when I'm working in the kitchen in another part of the house, because my doll room, I have a nursery where I keep all my dolls. Although I do bring a few of them out. Like I said, one is usually in the swing, and then I also have a little kids like chair in the living room too, where I will put one baby or two babies, and just being able to see them. And I also have a little high chair that sits by my table, my dining room table. And when I'm working in the kitchen, I can look over at the table and I can see that little one just sitting there. And it's just kind of neat. It's kind of like someone's keeping you company, or when you're sitting at the table eating, it's just like somebody's there. And so, okay, number 5. What is your dream doll? Okay, my dream doll would probably be a really hyper realistic type of whatever kind of doll. Something that's really, really realistic. Now, I have mainly manufactured reborn-like dolls. I don't have any artist-painted dolls at this time. And from what I understand, that the artist-painted ones are very realistic. But I must say though that I do have some manufactured dolls that are I think that are very realistic, and I've actually had people look at them and mistaken them for a real baby. And when you take pictures of them and stuff, people don't know the difference between if they're a doll or if they're a real baby. So I don't know. I guess it would just be something that I don't have, you know. At first, I really wanted like a really realistic one of them silicone dolls, and I thought that would be really fun because I think they would be the most realistic. But come to find out when I did more research on it, they are a little bit, you have to do different things with them than you can with your vinyl dolls. You know, you have to make sure that they keep powder on them, and I would think I might be a little bit more afraid to hold them a whole lot or do a lot with them, because I would be afraid that their paint would rub off, or they would get ruined by some way, because I'm very much into holding my dolls, changing their clothes, And you can do things like that with manufactured dolls and not have to worry about their paint rubbing off or them getting, wrecked really bad. Oh, also, recently, I do like the good guy dolls. I like the spooky, Monster High and alternative dolls. I do kind of like those types of dolls. And I do think that it would be really cool to have one of those Megan dolls, those 55-inch Megan dolls, for the reason that I really like Halloween time. I enjoy I get like in my town, I get like 250 to 300 trick-or-treaters, and I'm not kidding. I get that many trick-or-treaters in one night. And so I always try to decorate really as much as I can. The kids really love seeing all the decorations, and it's just fun seeing them in their little costumes coming to the door. So I think it would be really cool if I could have a Megan doll kind of, right at the door when you open up the door, have her standing there, holding the bucket of candy or the bowl of candy, or just have her kind of standing in the background. I think that would be really cool. So, number 6, what is your favorite way to play with your dolls? Well, I think I might have already answered part of this. My favorite way to play with my dolls is to put them in a swing, and I like to hold them. I like to also pretend I'm feeding them a bottle of milk. That's fun. My toddlers, I found this is one thing that I really like to do. My little bit older dolls, my little toddler dolls, in my nursery, I really like setting them in groups and having them like little toys around them and making like little scenes. Like this doll will be looking at that one will be trying to grab that one's hair or something like that. So when you come in to my nursery, my doll room, you'll look in there and it's just pleasing to the eye. You can look and you can see, oh, there's, the dolls, they're playing, or, they're not just all sitting singly, on a shelf or on the floor. I like putting them in little groups and having them do things. I think that's really fun. That's my thing. And I also really, really like, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, I love to take pictures of my dolls, seeing how realistic I can get them to look in different poses. That's a really fun thing for me to do too. Do you take your dolls out? Yes, I do take my dolls out. I take them outside, but I'll just sit with them on my deck and I'll hold a baby. Sometimes in the morning when I'm drinking coffee. I've even had one of the little neighbor boys come over, and I think he thought it was a real baby because he never said anything. Either that or he just didn't feel like saying anything about it. I also like to take them, I have a car seat, and I will put a baby in a car seat and drive to town if I have to run errands, or my boyfriend Robert lives in a different town about 13 miles from me, and I will drive to his house and I'll take the baby out and bring him in his house and set him there or whatever. And then, but when I go out to stores or do errands, I usually leave the baby in the car. I have not yet to take one to like Walmart or the grocery store or anything like that. I'll just leave them in the car. What is your main doll collection? Okay, so I collect all different kinds of dolls and stuffies, and I also have a lot of my childhood toys. And so I have cloth dolls, Barbie dolls, paper dolls, rainbow high dolls, 18-inch My Life dolls, and Our Generation dolls. I have vintage baby dolls and older walking dolls. And I also, and then the reborn like manufactured dolls. And so the reborn like manufactured dolls and baby dolls is my main collection. That's most of what I have. And I also have one manufactured silicone doll also. Okay, and in my manufactured baby doll collection, I have, of course, you know, the dolls that you can get from Amazon and the reborn like ones and AliExpress. I also have Ashton Drake dolls, and I have Paradise Galleries. I have Lee Middleton dolls and Pat Seacrest dolls. I have Behringer Babies, City Toy dolls. I think that's about it. Number 9, what is your favorite thing about collecting? Okay, my favorite thing about collecting is that being able to just have them all together. I like to mix all my dolls together, and there's something about, for me, when I go into the nursery, I could just sit in there all day long and just be so happy. I love the feeling of having all of them around me. I can look in all different directions and just see each little face, and it just makes me so happy just to have them all there. So my favorite thing about collecting is just getting and enjoying and experiencing all the different kinds of dolls. And I also enjoy seeing everybody else's dolls. Being a collector, it's fun to share. And where I live, in this area, I'm the only one that I know of that has dolls that they collect. And so a lot of times, you know, I would collect whether or not I had a YouTube channel or not. I would collect. And so it doesn't matter to me, you know. But just knowing that there's other people out there that are like me, you know, an adult that enjoys collecting dolls is really awesome, and it's encouraging, and it just brings so much happiness to your life. So that's one of the things that I really like about this doll collecting hobby. Number 10, who was your first Dolly channel that you watched? Okay, the first Dolly channel that I remember that I watched was Nanny's Reborn Nursery. I think her name is Lisa too. And that was when I really wanted a really hyper realistic silicone doll. And so I think I typed in silicone dolls or something like that. And there was this YouTube video, and it was her, and she had just gotten, I think it was her first silicone doll, and she had black curly hair, and she was beautiful. And I just remember seeing that and then realizing that, oh, this is an older lady that has dolls. And then, you know, when you start watching one kind of video, it kind of goes to another channel and then to another channel. And then I started seeing Cena at Cena's Dolls, and I started watching her, and then after watching her, she was doing like a collaboration one time with with Springflower over at Springflower's Amazing Doll Connection. So then I started watching her, and then I started seeing videos of Leisha at Binky's and Blanky's nursery, and I thought it was just so awesome how she was doing box openings of the dolls from places that I was getting dolls. And I just was like amazed that, you know, it just was really, really fun and really encouraging. So those are the 10 questions that she had, and I hope you enjoyed my answers. This video, I know, is a little bit longer than some of the other ones that I've done. And the journeys that you go through in the doll hobby, each person has their own little journey that they go through. But it seems like there's kind of like a similarity in the steps that the people take. You know, they've always liked dolls, most of them. They want to get back into the hobby. They start watching YouTube. You know, I'm also in a Facebook group, All Dolls Welcome. Julie over at the Country Cottage started that channel, or that Facebook group. So I'm a part of that too. And I just started posting pictures of my dolls, and I would always get so many beautiful comments, and I mean lots and lots of people. But that's one of my things. I love taking pictures and posting them, and I was getting all kinds of people asking me where I got my dolls, and so I did that. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll just start to do some videos, and I did my first one and just kind of took off from there. So that's me, that's my channel, and those are the types of dolls that I have. And one thing I did forget to mention is when we were talking about your first doll in your collection, like I said, was this little girl. But the first reborn-like doll in my collection is Charlotte, this doll right here. She's the Saskia sculpt. And from watching YouTube, I learned that you could get dolls off of reborns.com. Well, you have to be careful, because when you type that in, there are other sites that are similar to that maybe leave the S off of Reborns or have something a little extra. And so when you looking on that site, it may not actually be the official site. And at that time, I did not know that. And so I thought I was getting a silicone Saskia. And I didn't know, what things were worth really at that time. And when she came in the mail, she's a full body vinyl doll. I mean, she's a nice doll, but she's not worth, probably even $100. And I think I paid like a little over $100 for her. She has a really nice wig. She's not rooted or anything. And her paint job is not that great, but I mean, she's cute, but you don't get what you think you're getting. And so that was the time when I came into this new part of doll collecting, was when this whole thing with the replicas was taking off, and the authentic people were, and the artists and stuff were starting to get upset. I came in on that at that more really controversial time. So yeah, the journey that has taken hold and has happened has been quite the journey. But I'm really having a good time, and I'm really glad to see that there's other collectors out there that are like me, that I'm not the only weird one out there in the community. So with that said, I think it's about a half hour. I hope you guys all stuck with me through this long explanation, but I hope you got a little bit better idea too of what type of collector I am, and the dolls that I have. One day I will do a nursery tour for you and show you how I have my nursery. I I don't want to do it too early because I'm thinking I want to show you more of my dolls. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to do a spoiler. I don't want to spoil it and show you all my dolls and then be like, okay, I've seen all the dolls. Now I don't need to come back. I don't know, maybe you'll come back anyway. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you liked seeing little Miss Evie, my little Elvira, and my vintage doll, Jennifer, and little Georgie, and the very first doll in my collection, and my very first reborn like doll, Charlotte. And thank you again, Leisha, so much for doing this, for making this question and answer. And I hope many of you that are watching this, even if you've been in the community for years and years, those of us that are new may not know what your whole story is. So if you join in, that's great. That would be great. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say goodbye and hope that you all have a great day, a very happy day, and that you're all remembering to choose happiness every day. It's the most important choice you can make. And please know that I love you and that I'm thinking of you. And with that, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.